It does at times feel like the world's on fire. Kyiv this morning was. Dozens of Russian drones launched at Ukraine overnight, 2 people injured. As we approach 1,000 days of war in Ukraine. Next door in Hungary, European leaders met at the Puskás Stadium, Budapest, to consider what a Trump presidency will mean for Ukraine, trade, climate change and Europe's place in the world. Pitch set, games about to begin, just nobody quite sure what the new rules are. Team Europe wants to portray strength, the language Trump understands. So let's start with Ukraine. Zelenskyy pushed back against talk of territorial concessions to Putin.
Even from Europe, some leaders were strongly advocated Ukraine making concessions to Putin. It's unacceptable for Ukraine and unacceptable for all Europe.
The fear in Kyiv is that Trump will force a deal on them that could mean conceding occupied Ukrainian territory to Russia in exchange for some sort of security guarantee underwritten by NATO. Trump has said he'd end the war in 24 hours. So I asked President Macron,
do you understand what he means?
Look, I had a very good discussion yesterday with President Trump, and we exchanged in depth both on the aggression war launched by Russia in Ukraine and about Near and Middle East. And I think he has clearly a willingness to stabilize to help to stabilize his war, which is fine.
What does stabilized mean? Cutting off Donbass?
No, I don't. I think, as I always mention, nobody can discuss for a sovereign country except the sovereign country, Ukraine. But I think it means that it can be very useful to exercise a new pressure on Russia and to try to get a positive deal for the Ukrainians. And the sustainable peace in Ukraine is a peace where international law will be respected and which can be accepted by the Ukrainians.
Next, trade tariffs. During the campaign, Trump promised he'd impose a 60% tariff on Chinese goods and up to 20% tariff on goods from other countries, including European ones. He has form here from his first term.
We do need to be aware that the risk of a transatlantic trade shock has now increased. I think that is a statement of fact, but we need to work our way through all of these things, and we need to engage with the new administration at a European level, because of course trade is at an EU level.
Hungary's Viktor Orban hosted the summit. Trump's European fanboy-in-chief enjoying every minute of today. Perhaps the biggest question on these corridors, what does another Trump presidency mean for the West's political culture, the so-called rules-based order, the architecture of multilateral cooperation, the very thing that underpins events like this? They're not mulling over political theory in the trenches, though. Today we spoke to recently wounded Ukrainian soldiers at a rehabilitation centre near the front line.
You can talk a lot, but war is ongoing. Many people have said many things. Talks have no impact on anything. Everything is the same way as it was. People are dying, civilians, and everyone just talks.
There's what Trump has said on the campaign, and there's what he'll do. 3 months till inauguration, then these men get a glimpse of their fate. Welcome to the Trump trench.